Welcome back, everyone. It's been a minute since I've done a regular video. Let's do some comparisons today. It's going to be a great time. Starting off, unrelated, showing off this Gundam I built not too long ago from the Netflix Gundam show that I have not watched because I'm a poser. Anyway, yeah, today we're going to be doing some comparisons. We'll be looking at that Bandai Dreams 5-pack that I unboxed a while ago. Take a look at some of those figures and compare them to previous Bandai figures and even a few more. Starting off with these three first, because I filmed this in separate parts. So, here we'll be comparing it to these guys. Alright, spoiler alert. Let's get into this. Starting off with Anguirus. This Anguirus, if you're familiar with the older Bandai Anguirus figures that they've done, is not too far off from that mold. It is possibly the same mold, just retooled and upscaled a bit. We'll see that in a second. Well, let's take a look at this. Again, this is the newer one, the 2024 release that will be coming out, I believe, in this year as a single figure. So take a look at the paint and the texturing and the details on this one, because in a second here we're going to be looking at the original release. Well, one of the, because this got repainted several times, I think. But here's the older Bandai Anguirus. And right off the bat, obviously the paint job is much different. But you can see the mold is pretty much the same. Or the mold, really, yeah. But also the stance is what I meant. Has some grill marks on the bottom. Very nice touch. I don't know why I tickled his toes there. But yeah, you can see some of the wear on the paint and the yellowing as well. But this is a solid figure. So side by side, you can see in the face, the eyes, the differences. Again, the sizing is much different. On his feet, he has some on his little spikes, little scales on the newer one compared to the old one. Some of the spikes on his tail are a bit more protruding than on the older one. I wonder, I should look at the specifics of what year these ones are trying to represent. If they're the same year from different years, they might be from different years. But regardless, it's still a Showa Anguirus. You have one, you have pretty much the one. So, pretty similar figures. But I definitely think the 2024 one is better. But we're moving on here to Kamakurus. So this was a hard one to compare, but we got one, okay? Or I have a figure to compare it to. So look at this. This is a great figure. I said that in my unboxing. And just so happy to have this in the Movie Monster Series, finally. And again, this is one that should be coming out this year with a tag, because none of the figures in the box that come with tags, which I'm fine with, but some others may not. Anyway, this is what we're comparing it to. I have, by pure luck, and probably way more money than I should have spent on it, the Marmot Kamakurus. I don't know what year this came out. We might see here down at the bottom. Let's see if it says 2001. It looked like. Ooh, what a year! So here it is, side by side. Obviously, the Marmots are soft vinyl, kind of. They're their own stylized soft vinyl figures compared to what Bandai does with their Movie Monster series. But still, I would give Marmot credit. Like, it's a good figure. And especially for a while where we did not have a Kamakurus. Not that this was like so easy to find. This is definitely like, I got lucky on eBay one day, I guess. But they have different color variations of it as well. I was lucky enough to find the one that is closest to the movie. Because the other ones are mainly green, which I did not want. And not like green like Final Wars, but like green and blue. Like again, they're very stylized figures, which some people really like. It's not for me. I'm not a big Marmot collector. But you could definitely just tell the difference. And if you want that movie accuracy, it's going to be the 2024 one. But still both good. Now we're looking at these goobers over here, also known as Gabaras. So here's the 2024, and just a really good figure. Now this is one that, as much as I like this figure, I really do. But when I first saw the promotional images, I was like, man, this is so similar to what we're about to see here, the YMSF Gabra that came out many years ago. Because I remember seeing this figure, at least this mold, like back when I was a kid watching Godzilla collection videos. It's been around for a minute. And this is the first Gabra figure I had because it's like the only one out there. and it's a great figure. YMSF, give them credit. It's a fantastic figure. It's one they would release every now and then. One of the more popular ones. I don't know if they have done it recently, but definitely a good figure. I think both of them are great. They're both different in their own way. So we're looking at both of them now, and the YMSF is taller, which is fine. The bumps on his body are way more prevalent, and I'm trying to use big words enough, but I like both of them. They are slightly different. It's just the posing is very similar, and that's what got me in the beginning. I was like, "Whoa, Bandai! Like, what are you doing?" But then I kind of thought too, like, how many poses does Gabba really go in? Like, that's it. Arms in the air. That's what he does. So I like both of these. Obviously, the Movie Monster Series is a bit more accurate, but even the YMSF did a really good job with their mold. I'm happy with both of these. I think if you have them both, they're great. Or just one, that's fine. They're both really good. All right, let's get into this one. So this one, I can't really say is growing on me. I think I said I liked it in the unboxing, but it's once someone told me that, oh, it's just the 5-inch figure that Bandai Creations is doing. It's just that figure, just upscaled, the one you can find at Target. I can't. I don't know. Like, let's look at this first. Okay, so details are great. I like that. The paint's nice. Posability is just arms. That's it. Just the arms. And it's I guess, for the only Mechagodzilla you have, it's fine. But let's compare it to this guy over here. This is the Bandai Creations, again, the Bandai America. Same Mechagodzilla, 1974. So this, yes, I know his snout, his head is a bit off, but outside of that, this is like a really good figure in my opinion. This is one of the Bandai Creation figures. Playmates, everyone knows what happened. I'm not even going to go into that story. If you know, you know. That's all I'm going to say. If you know, you know. But this is definitely a solid piece. And look at that. He can move his arms. He can move at his torso. He moves at the head. Full 360. Just like he does in the movie. His legs also move too. I didn't really show that. But, yeah. So, both in terms of paint, they both do a good job. They're both going for a little something different in terms of details and paint, but I think they both do a fine job. But I definitely would say the Bandai Creations one is the better one, even despite the long snout. It reminds me of the Godzilla Unleashed model, if you played that game, from how he looked in that game. That's what it kind of reminds me of. But I just think they did a better figure back then. But this is still not bad. Again, this one should be re-released as well, if you really want that. But in a second here, we're going to show you something that was also not recently re-released, or maybe not recently, but I think not too long ago, was reissued just with a shinier painted coat. Coated paint, my bad, switching up words, but it's this Mechagodzilla, but this is the 1975 version. I figured might as well just compare it, because it's pretty much the same exact suit, just with a different insignia on the arm. Again, just another great figure. This is like the first Mechagodzilla figure, I believe. No, I'm lying. Never mind. Maybe in 6-inch form, but there was like an 8-inch or 10-inch one that they did, and I have that one too. I just slip in my mind. But this figure, I'm not as dropped it, broke it, it's gone. Anyway, back to the other two. Just kidding. I'll get it back up here in a second. I should have cut that out. But I'm not as big of a fan of the paint on this one. It's a darker gray. It's not shiny. I really should have got my hands. It was one that I kind of passed up on, the re-release I was talking about a second ago. Because it had the shinier paint of coat. There I go again. Paint of coat. Coat of paint. What's wrong with me? But compared to the older one, the newer one, I think probably look better. I can't say for sure. I don't have it in hand. But again, out of these three, I think I'd still prefer the Bandai Creations as the superior Mechagodzilla. Obviously, I'm not comparing this to my childhood favorite that I have now, the Soul Chokokin one. I'm strictly sticking to the Bandai vinyls, okay? Not the specialty figures. That's a whole different discussion, okay? Finally, we're reaching the end here. We're talking about Ghidorah, the Showa Ghidorah. So happy to finally have this one as well in the Movie Monster Series figure. And I said in the video, it scales great too. It's actually as tall as he should be, which means he's bigger than the other 6-inch figures. So, just doing a rerun of all the of the details and stuff. He's gold, if you couldn't tell. The heads look really nice as well. They did a really good job with this. And again, this should hopefully be coming out again for the people who just want this figure with a tag. I have to keep saying that because there's always be someone who's always going to ask, and some people are still confused. From my understanding, they're re-releasing them this year separately. Excuse me. This right here is my only comparison I can make, though, for Bandai vinyls. This is an older Bandai. It's not a Movie Monster Series. I forget what line it's called, but it's an older Bandai figure. And this is the Showa Ghidorah. And this is definitely one of my favorite figures that I have. Just because I love the way the Showa design of Ghidorah is. And maybe that's just because I'm so tired of the Heisei design that we get all the damn time. But this figure is great. And yes, I know the paint job is kind of outdated, especially compared to the new one. I just don't think it's that bad. I think the sculpt's pretty good too, including the heads. But then I just dropped the new one. Oh my goodness, how embarrassing. Really should have trimmed this video up a bit for you. But it's also a taller figure. That's about 10 inches? No, 8 inches, I'm sorry. Which also scales very well with 6-inch figures. Which is why I was really drawn to this figure. 8-inch scale Ghidorahs are fantastic. And it'd be even better if Playmates would do like a giant size Monsterverse Ghidorah. That would be even great. I don't know why they sleep on that idea. Beats me. But this is both figures are good. They scale well. They look great. And obviously the newer one looks a bit more accurate. You know, new and improved sculpting abilities, I guess. But as you can see here, they both look really good with other figures. And I recommend both. If you could find the older one, I recommend it. Anyway, guys, that's it for today. Let me know what you guys think, okay? We got some solid new releases from Bandai in that 5-pack. And like I said, you all should, if you missed out on the 5-pack, if it's not, it might still be available on the Godzilla store, I don't know. But it should be re-released, each figure individually, throughout this year at some point. I don't know when, but I believe they did say it should be re-released. But yeah, they did some solid pieces. Let me know what you think. There were some older figures there that I thought were still very good and still hold up. So, you know, Bandai, sometimes they hit, sometimes they miss. Back then, they hit a lot. Nowadays, sometimes they miss a bit more, especially with the details and paint. But they still put out some solid figures, especially for these premium ones. I believe the 5-pack was considered a premium Bandai. I could be wrong about that, now that I think about it. Yeah, I'm probably wrong about that. Anyway, who cares? Let me know what you guys think. That's it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you all take care. And I'll see you all next time.